ingredients, necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
St. Lucia, are you ready to tease your way to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 in Dominica? NBC and Real FM is giving one lucky fan the ultimate getaway, an all-expense-paid trip to the Nature Island for 3 nights of non-stop rhythm, culture, and unforgettable vibes. Here's how to enter. Step 1, follow us on Instagram at Real FM Official. 2, post a video up to 90 seconds long telling us why you deserve to be at the World Creole Music Festival 2025. Be bold, be creative, and show your passion for Creole music and culture. Step 3, tag us and send a collaboration invite to at Real FM Official so your video appears on both our pages. Step 4, get those likes up. The video with the most likes by October 10th wins the prize: round-trip airfare, comfy accommodation, and all-access pass to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 to enjoy Dominica to the fullest. But hurry, the contest runs from August 11th to October 10th, and the winner will be announced on October 11th. This opportunity is open to all St. Lucians aged 21 and over. Only one entry per person, so make it count. Don't just dream about the festival. Tease your way there, only with NBC and Real FM.
Powered by Discover Dominica.
Gotta go with you. I gotta go with you. I gotta go with you.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7455. 58.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Thursday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 25th day of the month of September, 2025. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside my co-host, Terry Fenelon, and our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Hope you're having a good day so far. I am. See no reason why you shouldn't. And that you're looking forward to the remainder of the week, the remainder of your Thursday being similarly great. Our program, as you know, airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station called Real FM that serves you on 91.3 megahertz for the North and 91.5 for the South, simulcasting on NBC Television, Channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are also on Facebook Live and on YouTube live streaming. Speaking about the television, as I now speak, our technical people are working hard to resolve a problem that has been occurring intermittently, too frequently, of the freezing of the TV. And when I spoke with another official, he is confident that they will have it resolved very soon. I can't tell you what it is, even if they explain it to me about, this piece of equipment was not, binding well, it'll be totally lost on me, all right? So, sorry about that. Let me just ask people who are enthusiastic about seeing things done right, that sometimes what appears on the surface, and I'm segueing into this because I can't really go into technical nitty-gritty, even when it's explained to me about how, this synthesizer and this is not linking up well with the transmitter and so on. By the time I get into the studio, unless I took time to write it, and I hate reading things that I don't really understand, because the moment you do that, people can detect in you the lack of conviction because you don't understand what you're talking about. Many of us may be enthusiastic for a cause, for a good cause, one in which would get a lot of support, but we need to make sure that we understand certain things about it well. For example, someone wrote me a long piece about the cataract eye clinic at the Betty Wells Center being down for a while, and they believe it's deliberate sabotage of the Cuban eye care program by people. There are people like that. They have this ideological animosity towards Cuba and Venezuela, and they don't think our government should be, linking with them, and as they might say, hobnobbing with them. So they might not be putting their best foot forward. And the other people who do it because they figure that the government may get some kudos, may get some feathers in its cap over what it's able to deliver to the people of St. Lucia in association with whether it is Taiwan or Venezuela or Cuba, and they don't want it. I've heard stories about an X-ray technician at one of our medical facilities being a political operative to such an extent that he will do anything, to mess up things. And this is scary, eh? Once you're talking about X-ray, although the person didn't tell me that his meddling was a technical one. You go meddling with this. X-ray is something that has to do with nuclear material, nuclear physics. You cannot become a radiologist or an X-ray technician for you not to be familiar with some nuclear science and things having to do with radioactivity and et cetera, et cetera. But, I don't think it goes that far. But, the person was telling me about, the Betty Wells Clinic and people trying to sabotage the eye care program, and cataract surgeries have have been halted and have been paused. And I did a little bit of digging. I couldn't get into it because sometimes, even when things are explained to me, when they become very technical, especially that sophisticated level of technical, like I said, and I'll repeat myself, I don't get the grip and the grasp of it as much as I should. But what they explained to me was that there's a piece of equipment called a distiller. And what a distiller is supposed to do is to take in water, albeit treated water, pipe water, whatever it is, and purify it. Remove the impurities to make it surgically acceptable. Because you want, when you're disinfecting of that water, that there's no bacteria in it. Even the chlorine and so on might cause certain reactions on your skin and your hand. It doesn't matter. It's helpful. It's mildly antiseptic. By using it in something to disinfect, certain tissues of the eye, maybe inside the eye, whatever, during surgery, and that water has to be tip-top pure. However, when they came and they did some testing, they found out that the distiller was not in that tip-top condition. Not a lot of bacteria, but a couple instances or specimens of bacteria were getting through. And in the very sensitive area of the eye, the inside of the eye, this can be the difference between a successful surgery and an infection post-surgery that can lead to blindness. So they could not continue. And also the certification of the equipment is not something that's done locally. So it's not to say the Ministry of Health or the doctors can say, hey, that's okay. No, it has to be examined. It has to be appraised and assessed and signed off on by CARPHA, which is the Caribbean Public Health Agency. So I think CARPHA came and they did an assessment and they found that distiller, maybe there's other equipment, but that's the one I remember, was not in the absolutely tip-top condition that it was supposed to be. And that is one of the contributing factors towards the cataract surgery being paused for a time. Matter of fact, it's my understanding that at cabinet level, a decision was taken that even though it has not been so long since that distiller was purchased, that lest this thing halts the whole program for too long, lest it causes any problem that somebody suffers eye injury, maybe irreversible eye injury, maybe blindness, that they should just condemn that distiller and order a new one. It's a good bit of money, but order a new one, which, as you know, in the world now, getting things from point A to point B, the whole supply chain, logistics of transportation and so on can be difficult, while they will work on either returning this one for a replacement or a refund or repair, whatever it is, to do that. Now, I'm mentioning this to say, to the individual who sent me the letter, a respectable person, well-intentioned, I'm sure, I believe their heart is in the right place. But sometimes when we don't know the backstory to certain things, we can easily, in our enthusiasm, rise up, ready to go to war, and the story is a little different. It may not be flambeau people who are there and trying to sabotage the system and this and that and the other. Some of us, we look at certain permanent secretaries, and these things we can say privately, but we conclude that the PS is a flambeau and this and that. And at times when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it and you know the inside story, it may not be so, or if the person is a flambeau, it's not their flambeauness that's been brought to bear. Some of us are critical of ministers because we find ministers have that PS, why they're not getting rid of that PS? Just read the whole rules of the Public Service Constitution and all, and you'll understand whether it's an easy thing for a minister at a snap of a finger to get rid of a PS. A PS is one of the most difficult people, to fire, to suspend or do anything of that kind. Yes, you can, but I'm telling you, the process is one where you have to have every single I dotted and every single T crossed and everything locked into place. It's a very meticulous process that has to be done. I think they can be transferred. I think one time there was a PS who was a problem. They put the PS, assigned the PS to no particular ministry. You're just a permanent secretary, but you have no responsibilities, you have no duties. But they couldn't remove him as a PS. To the end of his time in the public service, he draws rent full salary. They couldn't. Now, to justify his existence, he used to make sure he write one memo, I think every month or every 3 months, whatever, just to show that as a PS he was functioning. But he was really not doing any work. You can't just go and move PSs all over the place. And I think ministers generally, once a PS is doing their work and doing it well, they don't care whether the person have flambeau connections or whatever. Once the work as PS, you are doing it well. Let me give you an example of a man whose name I mentioned yesterday. Mr. George Girard, long retired, not very well. Health is not good these days. Mr. Victor Girard, George was his brother, who was, I think, maybe also a PS, but certainly was the general manager of ANC Ports Authority but brothers. The who, I say who because, like I said, George Girard has gone on. Victor Girard is a former controller of customs. Everybody who knows him, he subsequently became a permanent secretary in Home Affairs, and in that capacity was also cabinet secretary. To this day considered a very powerful position. Disliked by many people. But guess who, at the peak of what you would consider his power as CABSEC and PS Home Affairs, it was under John Compton. Labour appointed him, I think in the early 80s, right, after you moved from it. But John Compton kept him on as the cabinet secretary. Why? Because John Compton respected Victor Girard's professionalism, his efficiency, his competence, etc., etc. You know, John Compton could have feared that Victor Girard would have leaked confidential cabinet business, but there was never any indication, any talk whatsoever that he had ever done that. A lot of people, you know, they wondered about it. A lot of people never liked him. I can tell you, one of the people who didn't like him at all was, I think, the late Cuthbert Phillips, commissioner of police, who believed Victor Girard had a lot to do with him being removed as commissioner. And Victor Girard was simply a public servant carrying out instructions that were given to him. So he may have been the one who would have penned the letter or done anything like that. But you know, a lot of people had all kinds of impressions about the man. And if you know him, as I think I do, he was focused on one thing and one thing only, executing his duties impartially, without fear or favor, with absolute integrity, with absolute professionalism, and to be beyond reproach. When it comes to being a public servant, this man was very single-minded and very focused on it. So, there's another matter which I just want to draw as a reference. This whole matter about Allen leasing the lands in Viewfort to Desert Star Holdings and T.O.R. King, or selling them, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you hear one thing, sometimes... Do you know that this government, the Philip J.P. administration, has attempted to redress the situation, to acquire those lands, whether from lease or whatever it is? T.O.R. King has refused. I think he's decided he's going to take the matter to court, or he's going to take it to arbitration or mediation, whatever. But the government has not been able to reacquire the lands. In other words, to take the land back from the hands of T.O.R. King. But T.O.R. King is not in control. Invest St. Lucia in the interim is the one making decisions regarding those lands, pending the resolution of them. Finally, what will a court say? Will it go as far as the CCJ? Whatever it is. But the government of Philip J. Pierre has made efforts and continues to make efforts to deal with the situation. Now, I do not know that T.O.R. King on a day-to-day basis can say, you can't go there and do that, you can't do this and do that. I believe the go-to agency is Invest St. Lucia. You would have heard, and I brought him on the program when we were still at the other location, Mr. Terran Shalmai, a retired agriculturist who went into his own enterprise of rearing rabbits and, in fact, imported equipment from China, I think, for him to establish a rabbit feed factory. And all of that got thrown up in the air because of the government of Alan Chasney deciding to lease or sell or whatever the land to T.O.R. King. Terran Shalmai got pushed off. His whole operation got frozen. All his pension money or retirement money, whatever that he had plunged into this, losing it at the same time, finding himself in all kinds of problems. Terran Shalmai has been writing some letters, some very strong letters, but guess to whom he's addressing it? To Invest St. Lucia, because he holds them responsible for bringing some redress to the situation. Maybe Mr. Shalmai doesn't understand there's a limit to what Invest St. Lucia can do at this stage. They can't pretend like they have regained full control and ownership of the land. They have not. But they can put in place certain measures, such as relocating Mr. Shalmai. Because for them to tell him go back and start up and so on, what if a final decision of a court or whatever turns out in favor of T.O.R. King? Then they would have made him go and spend his money again, you know, and put in equipment and all for something that at the end of it all, they did not reacquire as they wanted to. The point I'm making, folks, we sometimes have to pause. Don't make accusations too much. And I would say have some faith in your government. They have justified that faith. That a lot of situations such as Cabot and how you call that place by Deriso, Canel, this and and whatever it is, that they have worked continuously to resolve those situations. They can't solve all of them all at once. Some of them may now be beyond the kinds of solutions that they would want. This whole land by PI that, John Compton had sold to the Danes or whatever, and so on. For the government to get back that land that it could distribute to St. Lucians and so on, government had to go back and reacquire the lands. It had to go back to a reacquisition of the lands, which now in ownership, it could sell to St. Lucians. You heard the situation I mentioned about a gentleman called Mr. Julius Boulogne, known as Wiseman, who paid deposit on the land and everything. But to this day, the sale can't be completed. I think between, Crown Lands or West St. Lucia, whatever, he has not been able to find a resolution to it. Sometimes the issues involved are complex. They're not simple at the stroke of a pen or the snap of a finger, and they drag on much longer than we should. I believe there is a question that is arising now about the pending launching on Sunday of Danny Butcher in Vieux Fort, where the launching will take place, who owns it, whether it's Tiwa King. To my knowledge, Tiwa King can't stop that. He can't stop it. To my knowledge, Tiwa King can't come and say that's my land, because the matter is pending a resolution. And for the time being, I believe it is Invest St. Lucia who calls the shots and who runs things and so on. The launching of Danny Butcher going to take place on Sunday, whether Tiwa King want it or not. So have no fear. Let not your heart be troubled about that. Some things are nuanced, but they're not as clear-cut as people want. However, the point remains that the recklessness of Alan Shastney with regard to those lands in Vieux Fort and that lease for 99 years at a cost of $1 per acre, we're talking about almost 1,000 acres of land. This giving away St. Lucia, go low, selling us downriver, is one of the shameful periods of our history that we must never allow to recur. All right, that is the point. We should not even be asking that question now. We should not even be asking it. But the fact is, it has to be asked because of Alan Shastney, Guy Joseph, people who are displacing everything that is for the beneficial interest of St. Lucians, whether it be the meat processing plant or abattoir, whether it is sanitary landfill, so many other things. Those guys, they had their doubts about St. Jude Hospital and were doing all kinds of things. They don't want to tell you that. But it is all because of their deal with Tiwa King. They didn't mind pushing all of Vieux Fort into the sea so that they could accommodate him. We have to watch those things. Your government working. Your government working. And they're not just working to bring projects and things to pass, They're working to resolve a lot of the absolute mess that the United Workers' Party under Alan Shastney dragged St. Lucia into, and they are licking their chops in anticipation of coming back to reinstate a lot of this malpropter that they were doing, and to do even more this time. You have the power in your hands to prevent it. Terry.
So basically you're saying that Philip J. Pierre, the Honorable Philip J. Pierre and his cabinet, they are doing everything possible to right the wrongs of Alan Shastney and his cabal.
And Shastney cannot wait to come back and wrong the rights.
Yeah, that's right.
That Philip J. Pierre and his cabinet.
You call two names there, you left out a main man,
That means
I have always said he's more dangerous than Alan Shastney, He signed that document,
Okay. Bradley
Felix.
Yes.
I maintain that Bradley has no spine. Bradley is a banker of many years' experience. You do not sign documents that you do not read. Worse yet, you do not commit the state to that kind of, I call it an injustice. You understand? And then you come back and say, after you have signed, you had misgivings. But don't worry, Bradley, next week, because you are not off the hook. I think in this thing, we know Alan is reckless, but you are just as reckless and dangerous. You should have put a stop to that. You should have had a spine. You should have stood up with your backbone and says, no, sir, we cannot sign that. Sheldon?
Yes. And yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
I was just going on to something else.
Move on.
Because really and truly, this issue isn't dead, We will launch Danny, as you correctly said. Tiwa King can't stop Chak.
Yeah.
We're going on that land, whether he likes it or not, we will be launching Danny on Sunday, and he can put that in his pipe and smoke it. Nobody's stopping
Let me just say this. I got a communication yesterday from the former mayor of Beaufort, who's very much involved in the campaign of the Labour Party and Danny Butcher. And he said to me, Shelton, look, I can understand you guys are really fired up about this, but you know what the trick I see? That there's a possibility it might just overshadow the hype that we want
so we'll leave it for
about
today.
the launching of Danny Butcher, You know, in other words, it will become, and that's what they're good at. Always drawing the palaver into another direction and so on. Yeah. And he said, look, we are in touch with the right authorities.
Yes.
And you know, we have written, we have done what we're supposed to do, and we expect a positive, response and so on.
Well, we have the feedback.
Yeah. And they're going to get that. So don't give them exactly what they want. And at the end of the day, let me say something too. We do not have, and I'm not a spokesman for the government, but I'm sure the government will agree. The government has never had any beef or grouse with Tio Aking.
Per se, yes.
Tio Aking is not an enemy or an opponent or a foe or an adversary of the government. Tio Aking is a businessman who was granted a deal which everyone who is in business, if they get that deal, they would have taken it.
Yes.
The same goes for Cabot.
Yes.
The same goes for Ojo Labs. The same goes for even the guy who took the vaccine money to go and buy vaccine, to go and make message for us, as we say. Somebody put in $7 million in
your hand. That's what I was saying.
Without any proper or Joe and Commando and all of that. They took good sweetheart deals that were given to them by a very foolish and reckless person who spends money like he never had toys. And now the money at his disposal is the money of the public treasury of St. Lucia at the time.
Yeah.
So he went about, wants to play like he's, Mr. Big Eye, nothing is a problem. But at the same time, things that have to do for the benefit of the people of St. Lucia, he always have a problem. Radio St. Lucia in too much debt. Fish Marketing Corporation in too much debt. This thing there, you have to close it down. But he's taking our money and splurging it. So it's not Tio Aking that's the issue. It is that reckless guy, and I don't need to say it myself.
Yeah.
Titus Sprayville said it for us. This reckless fellow is the one who has led us into the quandary and the quagmire in which we find ourselves. And it is he we must focus upon, and especially to ensure he don't come back again.
So he and Bradley next week, we're taking we're going to rest today, but this isn't over.
Yes.
As I will show you and you see, Shelton, you have said it, we have to be reminding our people. And sometimes things that are said and you do not pay attention, and it flies and we forget. But I'm going to remind you of it in their own words, concerning DSH. I mean, I'm sure council might address it tonight, but next week. And I'm going to show you that what you think is an anomaly is not, what you think is okay. It's not okay. Because you thought, what's your business? Because there's a landlord. And Kenny Anthony said that, you thought as a landlord in Tio Aking. Anyway, Sheldon, I got a breaking news there.
Okay, so I hope it's not anything unpleasant.
No, it's very nice. No.
I hope it's not anybody we know that's died.
No. It's this. The phone updated then. It's giving me a lot of trouble.
Yeah, sometimes this phone. You saw mine, of course. Every time I go, the screen just blanks out.
This update. Like my thing how it was. Newsflash: the cabinet has approved. Listen to this. When you see people, this government is just putting people first, looking after the needs of people. Breaking news, and we have to repeat that the cabinet has approved the permanent establishment of non-established employees, a key step towards fulfilling a 2025-2026 budget promise. About 1,288 workers with 2 years of continuous service will benefit. This means stronger job security, recognition, and stability for public workers and their families. These were 1,288 people who were sheltered, maybe on contract or day to day, cannot go to the bank, cannot go to courts. And if they went, they'll tell them, no, we cannot give you a loan, we cannot give you higher purchase because you don't have a steady job. These people now have job security shelter. They can face a financial. You see how Philip JPI is making life better for everybody? In that 1,288, there are flabos there, Flabos who go to Sunday Funnies. Think about what you're doing. When you see you have to dip your hand in the colorful ink, don't do the wrong thing. Vote for your interests. Vote for the person who is looking after your interests. And there's only one person, one government that's doing that. And that is the St. Lucia Labour Party, led by the Honorable Philip J.P. I think we're due for a break, Shelton.
Yes, we are. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters will continue shortly. We'll have a bit more to say, and then we'll be opening the phone lines.
Yes.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the Real Issues today. And don't forget that if the TV is giving you trouble, we are available on YouTube. That's another one. We are on YouTube live streaming. And as was pointed out to me the other day by our station manager, Nigel, sometimes the comments and the responses and so on the YouTube are even more than we get on the Facebook, although the Facebook is always quite active. So Facebook Live, YouTube live streaming, there's so many other tuners, and we are on the radio as well, all right? Now, when we open the phone lines, don't forget that if you have difficulty getting the line, you can go to realfmofficial.com, all right? Or to mbcslu.com, and there are WhatsApp text messaging links that you can click on. Type your message in the box that opens when you click the link, hit the send button, and it isn't a case of we have to wait. It's instantaneous. We are going to see it in our on-air WhatsApp messaging board. So when we do, in fact, you can start sending your messages now. Send them. So when we reach the point where we take messages and calls, they will already be there. Terry, go ahead.
Oh, yes, Shelton. I'm just seeing a call Bradley saying that SLP offered a family $15,000 to food for them. Bradley.
Let me tell you, if it's SLP, okay, it's not anything that impacts the public treasury, and even if it does, there must be a basis, okay? There's housing support, there's income support, there's all kinds of things. How does that become his business?
Bradley, we'll deal with you next week.
Yeah.
Don't worry about you, because I have to show the people why they ought not.
And he also needs to give us an accounting of how he is using the CDP funds, the Constituency Development Program funds that he and the rest of the UWP cabinet from 2016 to 2022 denied to the 6 SLP opposition MPs.
We don't want to keep our callers, but two things, well, not two things. We'll just play two short videos for you. Healthcare, because Shelton, they're talking about removing the 2.5% levy, as though that's such a burden on people. 2.5% levy, which $33 million we collect, which goes towards healthcare and national security. Take it out. You understand? And when we take it out, what are you going to do? But let us hear from two high-ranking health officials as to the importance and how that has been impacting the health of our country. Just play anyone first.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs has worked alongside sister agencies at the public level, private level, regionally and internationally over many years. And we're looking far back as 20 years or more than that, to push the UHC agenda forward. As recently as August 30th, 2022, the Universal Health Coverage Unit was established. Initially with one person, and afterwards we had a secretary join on board soon after. As time progressed, more staff was added to this unit to allow successful implementation of services under Universal Health Coverage. Maternal and Child Health Services was launched on June 1st, 2023. More than 1,871 pregnant women received their laboratory tests under UHC during the period of June 2023 to October and 2024. More than 2,955 ultrasounds were done for pregnant women from June 2023 to November 2024. The Performance-Based Financing Pilot Project, what we know as the PBF Pilot Project, was launched in 17 wellness centers in August of 2023. From August of 2023 to October of 2024, the PBF pilot had 25,168 persons above 18 years of age using this service, which actually forms about 53% of the population in the areas where these 17 wellness centers are located. Of that number, 1,837 persons were treated for hypertension and 1,030 were treated for diabetes. In August of this year, we also launched cervical cancer screening and HPV testing. We transitioned from the conventional method of conducting pap smears to a more advanced liquid-based cytology. This is a positive thrust forward as the Ministry of Health works towards the elimination or eradication of cervical cancer in St. Lucia, which is a WHO instruction to allow persons or countries to push forward to eliminate or eradicate cervical cancer. Thus far, we we have 1,577 women screened between August to November of 2024 at the primary care facilities. As recently as December 2nd of this year, we relaunched Men's Health Clinic with the expanded service to include new services of PSA testing for men at no cost and access to urology services if needed to include ultrasounds and biopsies at the primary care level. Snake bite management is another service to be launched within this financial year, 2024-2025, under universal health coverage. The Ministry of Health started with a snake bite envenoming symposium which took place on November 28th to 30th of November this year, where we were graced with the presence of 20 snake bite specialists from islands and countries around the world. Local farmers, emergency medical technicians or firemen, the clinical staff and the forestry officers were given the opportunity to be trained at no cost to them. During this upcoming financial year, which is 2025-2026, the Ministry of Health will work towards the launching of breast cancer screening and the expansion of hypertension and diabetic screening and treatment to the pending 17 facilities under primary care. As screening and treatment has already started at the primary care facilities, at 17 of them, so we need to expand to the rest. Under universal health coverage, we have what you call an essential package of health services, where we plan to give it to the public of St. Lucia in phases, step by step. What we say in French Creole, tipa, tipa. Okay? The important thing about it is that the funding from the Health Citizen Security Levy will be one of the sources that will be able to be used to fund the essential package of health services that we plan to give to the population of St. Lucia. We're looking at this service or universal health coverage to be able to give not only those who can afford, but those who cannot afford. And that is very important. So this particular levy is important in that it will be a source of funding, or one of the sources of funding, that will be contributed or be used to give the essential package of health services that is very well needed. If you ask me what are some of the services we have in the package, we're looking at cancer, hypertension, diabetes, dental care, eye care, sickle cell disease, HIV, etc., which are very important for us. Okay, they create a burden of disease on us. So it's important having that levy. It will allow us to have some source of funding for us to be able to give these services to the population of St. Lucia under UHCCC.
There you have it, just some of the initiatives taking place in the health services. So when people tell you nothing is happening or the government is doing nothing, you have those videos. If you need them, we will send them to you so you could acquit. I mean, the lady listed in the first video so many things that they are doing. How many thousands and how many hundred. I lost track. That
is what they don't want us to focus on.
Yes.
And they don't want us to help people to focus on. So it's always some kind of foolishness.
Yes.
You know, it's always some kind of distraction. It's all kind of Labour Party giving people
$50,000 for food.
No election has been called, whatever it is. And if it's Labour Party funds, that is party funds. Funds. Tell us when you see money is coming from the Treasury that cannot be accounted for. Tell us when you see how many $100 million coming out for architectural works.
Yes. So here you have some of the achievements. Now there's more. There's a lot more. And bit by bit we'll drop it so that you'll know what's happening in healthcare, where you don't go. I mean, the new wellness center in Larry Soos. And I mean, we are doing a lot. The government. So when people tell you nothing is happening, you know that's just a disgruntled person trying to score some political points. But that won't work. We have a track record of performance, and we will highlight our performance as the days go by. Shelton?
Twin Edward, good afternoon to you. He says we are not on TV. We are aware of that, Twin. I couldn't watch our lunchtime news on the TV. I had to listen to it on the radio. So we are having some issues, and they're being worked on. As a matter of fact, when I came in, the man who I would consider to be our head technical person, I was wondering what's his vehicle doing there until I realized he's here to look into the matter. So it is something. We take no joy, we take no satisfaction or pleasure, whatever in it, but you know, it comes with the territory of when you're dealing with equipment and so on, that sometimes you never know if it's the heat or whatever, you know, that's affecting something, because we're having some heat these days. Tekla, Invincible Stanislas, St. Lucian resident in the US, says, hey Shelton, bonjour, just saying you have a lot of ardent listeners in the diaspora listening to you daily on Radio Garden, so we need to shout out as well. Ever since I gave that shout out to a couple of people, Bernard Haynes has come at me, even Cornelia Jacob. So, I want to give this shout out, sincerely, effusively, sincerely, to all the people who are tuned into the real issues via various platforms and so on, like they mentioned, Radio Garden. And someone told me, look, do not judge the popularity of the real issues based upon the likes and views that you have on Facebook. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are listening to you on the radio. A lot of people are watching you on the television. A lot of people are following you through other means whereby those reactions are not being captured. So do not underestimate. And I believe you. I agree with you. So, pleasant good afternoon to you all. I'll continue to do that gradually as we move along. I think Terry has indicated that we can now go on to open the phone lines.
Yeah.
Cornelia Jacob also tells us that Danny Butcher's lunch is at the recreation park.
That's right.
So it looks like
nothing will stop it.
The animator has put a foot down.
Oh, that's right.
All right. And to the guy, Twin Edward, who spoke about not getting us on TV, she says, tell Twin, go to YouTube. I think I just said that as well. So the numbers, 758-487-9849. That's the mobile number on which you can WhatsApp call us. And right away, we have someone on exactly that platform making themselves the first for today. You're on the air, my friend. Go ahead.
Bon après-midi.
Bon après-midi, vous.
Bon, moi, je n'ai pas parler about. Pièce le Prime Minister me décide pour ring bells là, coin bells là. Moi, je Prime Minister m'a écouté. Moi, je tout côté, yo ni se bret ça nda. Moi, je ni yon denom Labour Party là pour make sure se bret ça get safe. Moun qui ka mené bret ça de ça, moi, je denom ça abo même transport là pour make sure se bret ça is safe côté vous check là. Because là ni yon nom, makalo menon mais là ni yon nom, conseil bi a gen tout vote li. Because yo pas ka moun ka mené bret ça de c'est driver ça ka mené bret là de pas koyo. Moi, je ni denom là. Des noms Labour Party all over St. Lucie. Côté Labour Party, côté ce bête la caille. Puis make sure ces noms ça là until transport you drop ce bête ça. Puis you check. Because ma can't trust ces noms ça. Because ces noms ça n'y a shake trucs sont dit dans yo. Yo ça paye un monde pour ce bête là qui ça va faire. Make sure you need des noms Labour Party là pour make sure ce bête ça safe. OK? C'est tout le monde nous dit.
Merci, Apil. 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that number, and you can also use our landline 4533-911. We have someone else on the line. Real Issues.
Good day, comrade.
Hi, good day to you.
Je vais venir plus pour. Yes. But I personally want to thank you guys for reminding us every day for the misgivings and all the things these guys have done, because they want people to forget, and like they say, they want to pretend like they were never there. Always reminding us what Demolition Man did and the Bad Ventis, so that people will never want to go back there. Because I have kids, and I would want my kids to grow to enjoy what we have in the South. So, I mean, it's so unfair to us, and I'm happy that we can put that to rest, and we know that Danny is being launched at the recreation ground, because it belongs to us, to the South, to people of Beaufort. I'm happy to hear that. So okay. I can tell you that Danny is on fire. Did you all listen to Danny last night? He was the guest speaker for Sean again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Danny is on fire, man. And Danny is going to put out, he's going to put all of them out. I tend to differ over here for.
Okay.
Yes, man.
Thank you, my friend.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, bye.
A gentleman from Beaufort believes the recreation ground will be a nightmare if it rains. We'll walk with umbrellas. So, what he's saying is that there might be the downside, but that depends on the weather. But we got to have faith. We have another call on the line. Real Issues. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon to you.
Okay, listen. While some of the stuff that Alan Shastney did could invariably be described as reckless, which they were. Gentlemen, I want you to look at this carefully. Think about it carefully. It is my view that quite a bit of what Alan Shastney and his government did were not reckless acts, but carefully crafted. Gentlemen, if you look back at the Great Depression in America, when the economy of the U.S. was so low that many Americans, many millions of Americans, were hiring themselves out for food, for meals, just to stay alive. Gentlemen, we saw what happened under Alan Shastney. And again, my view is that Alan Shastney and his government's actions were designed to impoverish St. Lucia, especially the rank and file, those people, those St. Lucians who are more or less how would I term it? Poor people. So that once St. Lucia becomes impoverished, or St. Lucians become impoverished, certain people would be in a position to take advantage of that. For instance, look, we saw how this government, under Honorable Philip G. Pierre, increased the minimum wage or introduced minimum wage legislation whereby people are now getting over $1,000 per month. Under an Alan Shastney regime, I feel pretty confident that Alan Shastney would modify that legislation to take away that minimum wage and drop it so low that employers here would be in a position once again to pay people anything from $400, $500, $600 monthly to make it more profitable for them to operate. You know, gentlemen, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. No prime minister concerned about the people of his country, concerned about his country, would do stuff like Alan Shastney did, for example, this Theo Aking deal, this Cayman Islands deal, this paying for preparation of the budget. No government worth its salt, no prime minister worth its salt, looking to do things in the interest of his people, would engage in such conduct, such behavior designed to impoverish St. Lucians, designed to impoverish the country, if he didn't have a stake in that as well, if he didn't stand to profit from it. Gentlemen, look, reckless, yes, in certain instances, yes, but in other instances, no. What Alan Shastney did, in my opinion, was well crafted to benefit certain people at the expense of St. Lucians. So at the end of the day, once St. Lucians became impoverished, they would be willing to do so many things for almost nothing. And that is my take. Alan Shastney wasn't reckless in a lot of the things he did. Gentlemen, think about that and think about it carefully. Thanks.
That's actually me.
Okay, all right. Okay, Prime Minister, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Welcome.
How are you?
Oh, we're doing okay. And always do much better once we hear your voice.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you. It's something that I really need to clear up this morning, because I understand that there have been some rumors about the allowances for police officers. I want to tell you that the rumors are completely unfounded and untrue and almost deliberate. At the last, when the agreement was being finalized, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance disclosed to the police negotiating team that the new allowances, some very attractive new allowances, would be paid at the end of September salaries. Now that was agreed, and in the salaries this month, the new allowances were paid. Now, the government did an unprecedented thing in that we decided that we would pay to the police an underpayment of the allowances that they did not agree. The allowances were not agreed to by the police from June. Negotiations continued between June and September. What the government said is that it didn't, even though there is no back payment of allowances, for goodwill, we are going to treat it as an underpayment, and we are going to treat it as an underpayment, and we are going to pay it to you at the end of October. Now, the reason why we did that is because the Treasury had advised that there was paperwork involved in the underpayment of the allowances. You had to go to every individual office and book it. That was the advice of the Treasury, and that would not have been ready for the end of September. So I can assure the police that as we paid them their back pay, as we paid them their pay increase, and you must remember that we paid the police back pay even before we had finalized the negotiations with them. Mm-hmm. The same way we paid them their back pay, the same way we paid them their pay increase, you understand? Mm-hmm. The same way we paid them the allowances at the end of September, is the same way we are going to pay them the so-called underpayment in allowances at the end of September, at the end of October. We've kept all our promises to the police as far as salary is concerned. We've kept all our promises. So I think I want to reassure the majority of policemen that what is going at the end of October, they're going to be getting their new allowances plus the underpayment that supposed to be paid from the 16th of June. And that was negotiated to and agreed to with the negotiating team led by the Permanent Secretary.
Okay.
And led by and by Mr. Gill, and the Permanent Secretary was there as the finance person.
Right.
So any other thing is just deliberate and almost malicious.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's only a few people who are doing that. Because all our promises, new allowances, salary increases, back pay, bonus, all of these things, all the commitments the government has made to the police, we've kept them. We have the new shipment of bulletproof vests. I just heard it just landed in Miami. We're going to get it in St. Lucia soon. Moving to the new Ancillary police station that was in a bad state for a long while. We are completing that move. Repairs to the Viewport South Police, the Viewport Police Headquarters, we've spent almost $6 million. The last thing is new air conditioning units for the dormitories. The police headquarters in Grove City, the northern headquarters, we are waiting for the windows that have to come. If you go there, you'll see the work is in a state, in a rail, in about 70% complete. We are waiting for the windows. Work on the Canaries police station is proceeding as we speak. So our promises to the police have always been kept.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so very much, Prime Minister. I don't know if there's anything further. Yes, go ahead.
And these things are verifiable. I'll tell you what, I've made it public that I seek no war with any worker, much less policemen. This is why we have the historic minimum wage. And I've made the point, in the next government, we're going to be discussing a minimum wage for every sector. Because of our very reason, because that is what we are made of.
Yes.
Our party is the party of George Charles. We are a workers' government. That's our history. We can't go anywhere else. So the idea that this government would try to mama guy on the federal workers, we never said to any public servant that let us do our business. Policy is not their business. We work with them. We work by consensus.
Yes, yes.
That's our behavior. That is our history. So I want to reassure for the last time. First of all, I want to congratulate the police for the latest haul of illegal weapons.
Yes.
That was very good, and I want to congratulate them for that and thank them for their service. And I want to reassure them that as I've kept my promise to them, financial promises, they got their increased allowance at the end of September, and it was agreed that the underpayment of these allowances plus the new allowance which they got in September, they get in October again, plus that underpayment. The reason why the underpayment was not made is because there is some paperwork that the Treasury said has to happen, and this is why it could not happen because of the short time, because it's well known that government salaries close on the 7th of the month. That is well known. It's a thing that's been in the service for long. At the 7th of the month, all government salaries close. But the Treasury and the Ministry of Finance, they bent backward to get their allowances. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Sheldon, so thank you very much for your time. I'm sorry to barge into your program.
No, Prime Minister. This program is an open door, to you at any time, and you can say that to the rest of your ministers, that the Real Issues is a place where anytime they want to get out the kind of information that you've put out, that they're always welcome. As a matter of fact, we probably will drop whatever else we are doing, to accommodate you. So thanks to you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you.
All right. Okay, folks. The Honorable Prime Minister Philip Joseph Pierre calling our program. We are due for the commercial break, but because I see, our WhatsApp line on the computer screen is showing someone called Animator, we're going to make a little allowance for that person, Good afternoon. Welcome to The Real Issues. You're on the air now.
Good afternoon, Sheldon.
See what love can do?
And that love is not for you. Neither is it for Terry.
Okay, all right. It's everything, our sitting arrangement puts me...
after the Prime Minister. So, Sheldon, I was calling to speak about something that's really very passionate. Well, two issues I'm very passionate about. You see that DSH deal that a lot of you fortunes did not take the time to study. You think what is coming out now is bad? No, it is not. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It gets worse than this, Kodibuski. There are people who have paid their mortgages completely done and in their minds, legally, rightfully, their house and property belongs to them. But since Bradley affixed his signature along with that of Alan Chastanet, that property is no longer theirs. That belongs to Theo. And Theo can come any day. We're making it seem like it is only public property that you need. If half of these people knew that they can't do what they want on their land, or the land they think that is theirs, they would sweat more than water. Okay? However, these are issues that will be dealt with, and we should not go and sleep and forget that more than half of Beaufort belongs to Theo Aking for 99 years. That was not the doing of Philip Joseph Pierre under any circumstance. However, This coming Sunday is the launch of Danny Butcher. It takes place at Recreation Park, and let us keep up and continue with the hype that is leading to the launch of Sir Danny on Sunday. Let me tell you, one of the speakers, Zokwalisa Tebad, Fini Desan V4 Dimanche, Zot Kaitan, Opération Pese Vote, qui a commencé officiellement dimanche.
Hear that before you go.
Yes?
But is Terry I'm going to let you deal with that because Terry, you jumping over my head too. Shelton, how dare you have the animator speak after the Prime Minister? And that is coming from somebody of status. That is coming from somebody of standing. That is coming from somebody of influencer, mover and shaker who can actually make things go bad for me. So, you know,
Can I respond?
I'm being challenged, but Terry will have to deal with that.
Yes, let me defend you. Tell that person of so many accolades that jealousy does not look good on them.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. We got to go for our break now, folks. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters will be in our home stretch up until 2 o'clock. When we come back, we'll be taking more of your calls and messages.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Clans Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prio's Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosy Lane.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This is the Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We're on the home stretch to 2 o'clock. We are taking your calls on 487-9849. That's for the WhatsApp calling, and also your landline calls on 4533-911. We have 2 people waiting. Let's take the first one in the queue. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon. How do you do, gentlemen?
Yeah, good day.
Hi, good afternoon. Good day to you.
Yes, so what's going on?
Your call is kind of breaking up.
Excuse me.
Your call is breaking up a bit. I don't know why.
Okay, I'm moving from the basement.
Okay.
So tell me, what's going wrong with Guy?
What's going wrong with Guy? It has always been wrong with Guy.
Oh my Lord have mercy. Guy has aged like an old rock.
Oh, the
I
Chivy
don't
Bluff.
know what Lisa did to him, but really something is not working. Oh yes. It's a Madam Salah Decambwele guy. Ah c'est bêtise là maintenant Guy dit. Moi non mon Dieu. Guy pas dit ça. He was interviewed by one Lisa referring to another Lisa. And you know, I was so confused because I don't know who he was talking to, who is he referring to. Tout chive Guy Billy Blanc, Fijaili, Adam Mess.
Et à quoi c'est depuis dimanche chivé min blanc? Hein?
Oui.
À quoi c'est depuis dimanche qui doit se passer là, ça arrive?
Oui, moi j'ai dit Guy comme ça en pièce quand il parle pour brûler. Moi dit oh my God, qui ça y fait là? And he said he knows how to handle Lisa. Excuse me. I said, but Guy, what's that? Is that a threat or what? And we must not take threats lightly in St. Lucia. Guy is desperate. He has lost control of himself.
It's now or never for him.
I don't know what is wrong with him, but he don't seem to be getting it right. Nous vous prions Dieu by monsieur. Le seul ça m'a voulu c'est Chico Alley. Have a good day, people.
Okay, thank you very much. The first set of bulletproof vests have been on island. The second set is in Miami. The MOU was signed on 15 September, and we have 6 months to get it. That is one of the Prime Minister's aides, who's, I suppose, giving us a little follow-up update, and clarification on this matter, so we know that the information is reliable. We have another call on the line. Real Issues, go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, comrade, how are you doing?
Comrade.
Y'all keeping okay?
Yeah, we're doing okay. How about you?
Yeah, I not too bad.
Okay.
But you have to forgive me, I will speak in Creole, because what I have to say is so important worldwide.
Not a problem.
NBC ni pour checker situation. Côté qui, là dans bon programme qui a indiqué moun, ouvertier moun, kana en cette ici. Screen TV a free. Pas tout le monde qui ni radio pour prendre à la radio. You can put it on la TV.
Comrade, can you just hold on a while? I'm getting a call from the Prime Minister's attaché, Miss Mondi Lewis. So just in case it's something important.
No problem. I will
just hold the line. Don't go, please. Okay? Yeah. Hi, Monday. Good afternoon. You on the air?
Hi, good afternoon, Sheldon. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
Sheldon, I just wanted to pick up a little from where Prime Minister left off, and just in further investigations which we have gone through, because we like to be on the side of right, and if we've made a mistake, we want to be able to say so. But in this case, the government of St. Lucia did promise the bulletproof vest to police officers, which we are delivering. If you recall, we had a ceremony at the police training school where the first shipment of police bulletproof vests came in. A second shipment, like Prime Minister said, is now in Miami. The MOU between the government and the police welfare was signed on the 15th of September. So it says that that the government has 16 months to provide these bulletproof vests to police. 6 months, sorry. 6 months to provide these bulletproof vests. It was signed on the 15th of September. The 15th of September.
And today is
we have
just
made
10 days.
good.
Yeah.
We have behaved in good faith, and we ordered it in advance. All of them are not here, and of course we understand shipping logistics. We know that there are still delays. We do not produce the vest in St. Lucia, so they have to be procured. And we also know about the procurement method within the government that we have to follow in safeguarding, what happened in administrations past. You have the different sizings that you have to get from all the police officers. So of course there may be delays, but we are saying that it was signed on the 15th of September, and we have delivered, and we continue to deliver for the policemen of St. Lucia. So, anything that is going on, this is the season, just the season to say things, to do things, but the government believes that it is doing the right thing by the police, and we maintain that. In terms of the insurance for the police officers, which I saw another one peddling on social media, these are administrative issues, and they are being dealt with. There is no lapse. The government, of course, is going to honor, because this is a new component. It was not there before, and we have included it in this round of negotiations. So I think, it is dishonest, it's disingenuous for anyone to say that the government is not living up to its part when it comes to our police officers. This government, Philip J.P. administration, continues to invest in the policemen and women of St. Lucia. And, we would really I think we have a lot of bigger issues to deal with. But when it comes to the police and their protection and their security and ensuring that they have a peace of mind when they're going out to carry their duties, we will not compromise on that, and we have never compromised on that. The police officers went without police bulletproof vests for years. We came in and we said, you know what, no more of that, no more of the sharing. Everybody is going to be issued their own, and we remain committed to delivering that to every single police officer in St. Lucia. So Shelton, sorry, I'm again apologizing like Prime Minister did for barging into your show, but I think people need to stop with the rumors and the fear mongering that we're not doing this, when we had a whole presentation with bulletproof vests, and we said that there will more to come.
Okay. Thank you very much. No barging in for you. Anytime. You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Shelton. Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Comrade Dimac, sorry about that, but thank you so very much
no
for
problem,
your patience.
Comrade. What I'm saying is, you see all what she's saying there, sometimes il parle bien.
Yes.
These are the things that people have to realize, that we are in a situation going forward for the next election, whenever it is called, and the UWP, and what I would call its ruling class, pushers and supporters, we look for all kinds of things to do to really confuse the mind of voters in St. Lucia. Yeah, we say the mood is red, but I also say that the wave, as far as the election is concerned, is red. And the UWP has a party contending in the election here to contend. The ruling class that is behind it really fueling them and maybe financing them see that situation, and they will raise any conceivable thing to confuse the minds of voters in St. Lucia as far as is concerned. What I was talking about, and I started in Creole, is that we have to really check this technical aspect on the NBC screen that really freezes. It shows from this morning, I was going around and somebody tell me, oh, Moteka Kute Yadi, Epi TV Apa. Now, I do not put that far past the UWP, the ruling class, the service provider. I'm sorry to say, well, not NBC in that case, whoever is behind fueling these things, to really deprive people from being educated, opening their eyes with respect to the things that they have to take cognizance of going through the election. And I think so. You know, all the time, sometimes people watching the thing and the thing freezing and it freezes. And not everybody they have access of the luxury of radio and everything. You know what? This program you have there, I believe in my mind, is one of the programs that's really very important in educating people, opening their minds and their eyes with respect to what they ought to do coming the fourth election. I don't know, can AI cause these kind of things? We have to check all them kind of things.
Okay.
You know, when the thing and people not getting information and thing. Just imagine that. So that is just what I really wanted to say, so as for us to think in terms of the program going forward, compared to some of the other people say shit, but the crap we're getting from the other instruments that actually do these things. There are more things I want to say, but we let it go for today that way. For today, thank you very much for tolerating me, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm never one to encourage paranoia and conspiracy theories, but we have to leave our minds open to all possibilities. However, I always believe for looking for the verifiable, the empirical, the one that is tangible and so on, that you can touch and feel, what the wiring and the chips and the microcontrollers and the integrated circuits and whatever and so on. I'm always one to think about that before we look for the other things that are in the background. Likewise, I know about sabotage and about people who are trying to undermine you and to destroy, things and to interfere in it, whether by AI or for actually messing about with your actual stuff. But at the same time, we want to look for, the real things. Like I told you about the distiller at that cataract surgery clinic and so on. We look at those things. We resolve those things. And if after you do all of that, then you begin to, but you now focus upon other possibilities and so on, when you have every scientific and technological I dotted and T crossed. Dr. Carlton Augustine, good afternoon to you. Thanks for your patience.
Yes, good afternoon, Shelton.
How are you doing today?
Comrade Terry.
Yes, good afternoon, brother.
There was a discussion on Yadi yesterday about foreign direct investment. They were alluding to an article where someone claimed that Alan Chastanet, because of his characteristics like skin color, would help St. Lucia in terms of foreign direct investment. And this is some of the greatest BS I've ever heard. I have some data in front of me now from the World Bank, a historical series which measures foreign direct investment as a percentage of GDP. In 2017, it was 4.5%. 2018, 2.21. 2023, it was 5.08. 2024, it was 7.04. And in fact, from 1980 to 2024, the lowest recorded percentage was 2.21, was achieved under the Alan Chastanet administration. So this is a lot of BS coming from people who are still trying to push Alan Chastanet as St. Lucia's savior. The man is an unqualified failure. And it is pure ignorance to suggest that people look at skin color. What people look at is economic and political stability. We have the political stability. Economic, they look at how the government is performing. Look at the government finance figures. Can the government provide roads. If we invest in St. Lucia, does the government have the capacity to provide infrastructure, do the necessary things for our successful investment? So when we look at the performance under the Philip JP administration, the numbers back it up. People are more inclined to invest in a country that is progressing. So that to suggest that Alan Chastanet is better suited in terms of foreign direct investment is not only nonsense, but the data does not show this. And you know, Alan has achieved so many dubious things. And the lowest recorded from 1980 to 2024, according to the World Bank, was 2.21% in 2018. So this just rubbishes the argument, you know, that people are trying to push forward. Because one of the reasons why Sir John was able to get a lot of people like S and so on were attracted to Sir John was because of his fiscal management. Grants were at a high level also because of his, and this is what we are seeing. So to suggest that there is any advantage to Alan Chastanet, the data does not bear it out, and it flies in the face of what we know, which attracts foreign direct investment. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc. Thanks. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
We probably can take one more call if we have one on, but it may not be so. So probably, I suspect we're probably very close to 2 o'clock. So we need to wrap up. What's our time check now? All right. We have 3 more minutes until 2 o'clock. You've been quiet for a bit since we opened the lines. Good for you, Terry. But if there's anything that you wish to get in now, I guess this is the time.
No, we get it. Well, you know, tomorrow, the media fraternity we lay to rest Tony Paul.
Yes.
That's a funeral service for Tony Paul. It will not be screened, I think, as per his wishes, but it will be at 2 o'clock at the La Clery, well, I don't know the name, La Clery Church, the Roman Catholic Church at 2, and then we'll proceed to the Shock Cemetery. So it's a sad day, Brother Andre Paul, stay strong, we are in your corner. You have been strong up to now, and we say farewell to a colleague, a media colleague.
Someone said, Shelton, I'm hearing of a tornado hitting Castries as you speak. Not a tornado, but it looks like a funnel cloud. The funnel clouds, they are usually the beginning of tornadoes, but then they have to extend from the cloud right down to ground. This one is still a good distance away. The weather patterns are changing. Some time ago, I think, whether it was the Dennery Bay or somewhere else, a funnel cloud type of thing was observed. And let's not forget, a few years ago, we had a bizarre phenomenon of a heavy hailstorm just in neighboring Martinique, and that's pebbles of ice, you know, falling from the sky, which can do serious injury. Jaquan, I sent you a short video. Do you think we can have time squeeze it in from the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment that was sent to me by John Emmanuel? Maybe we can make that our going out real quick.
My name is Valine Isidore, Welfare Officer for Grizzly. Every day we encounter people with different needs and circumstances. Not everybody has access to the same resources and opportunities. As a result, organizations and agencies have been established.
All right, folks, so we only give you a few seconds of this because it's a bit lengthy. However, tomorrow, Terry won't be with us as usual on Fridays, so we'll have more time for us to play it. And also don't forget that tonight from 8:30 on NBC Television, Real FM and Facebook Live, the various platforms will be having the always heavily anticipated Can I Help You with Richard Frederick, accompanied, I think, as always, by Albert Fregis. Till tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your Thursday safely. And for the Real Issues powered by Blue Waters, on behalf of Terry and Jaquan, Shelton Daniel now signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Thursday, 25th September 2025 were Double Daily Grand 5, 14, 17, 21. Big 4, 8, 3, 1, 1. Big 4 Multi-X 2X. Pick 2, 0, 5. Pick 2 Multi-X 2X. 1 off 169. Lucky 3, 980. Lucky 3 Multi-X FP.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is